Fortnite has had tons of live events that happen almost every single season, with almost all of them being absolutely amazing. And after the 30 plus seasons that we've had Fortnite for, I thought it was finally time for me to give my opinion on the top 5 best Fortnite live events of all time. Now, this list took a lot of considerations. I had to put a lot of factors into this on what I believe makes a Fortnite live event one of the best. Before this video starts though, let me know in the comments what is your favorite Fortnite live event. I'd love to hear it. And also, if you enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and also consider using code JUSTPRIME in the Fortnite item shop. Thanks, and it helps a ton. But let's get straight into it, starting with number 5. Now, number 5 was a really hard choice for me because like a year or two ago, it was actually number 1. But since then, it has been passed in my favorite event, and it goes to The End. Chapter 1. So the End event used to be my favorite event of all time. I loved it so much. I thought it was so sick. You know, the island getting hit by this meteor, all these rockets flying around with the visitors. I thought it was so cool. This event is really where the storyline kicked into overdrive, and it showed, hey, there's a story behind the Fortnite map, behind the the entire Fortnite Battle Royale game mode. There is lore to it. Also, this being the biggest live event at the time, it was super sick to play, and we were so excited because we knew we were getting a new map after it, so it was just so cool overall. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the Collision event from Chapter 3, Season 2. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into this, and one is being because that was actually on my last day of school for that year. I got out of school, got on Fortnite, and watched the live event right after. It was great vibes knowing that we had a couple months of summer ahead of us. That was amazing. But it wasn't just that. It was also because of the story behind it. There was some amazing build-up to that. You know, it was going to be IO versus 7. I'm a huge storyline nerd, so I loved the IO versus the 7, and knowing that they would have this big moment where the two factions would clash, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And on top of that, the mech coming back was so cool. Being able to pilot the mecha team leader was one of the coolest things ever. I loved it, being super interactive and destroying, tanks on the ground, destroying enemies, all that stuff. And then, finally going for the doomsday device and then it falling. And then, we go down and it's even more interactive from there, right? We're shooting the IO with scars, following Jonesy, and also seeing Darth Vader, which I love Darth Vader, and that's when he was first teased, which was super cool to see. I loved the event so much. And another event I love so much is actually going to be Remix the Finale. Now, this is number 3 on the list because I just thought it was so cool. This huge concert with all of these different music artists. It was amazing. Eminem played the songs I wanted to. I was like, okay, he has to play Houdini, and he did. He did. I was like, there's no way he's gonna play it, but he ended up playing Houdini, which was so cool. The Snoop Dogg part was super cool. I mean, it was just great. The Juice WRLD part was phenomenal. And then even seeing the Chapter 6 map at the end of the event, they've never done that before. They've never actually shown like the whole map like that. Now in Chapter 4, you could technically say they did, but it wasn't like actually we were there. It was just, the end loading screen was in Chapter 4 when we saw the Chapter 4 map. So we actually got to like hover above it. It was super cool doing that with the Chapter 6 map. I really loved the event. Also, on top of things, it was Chapter 2, which I love Chapter 2. Chapter 2 Remix was a great season in my opinion, so that definitely adds to it. And now at number 2, I got to give it to the Big Bang. And you're wondering why? Why would you give it to the Big Bang instead of the actual event, the End Chapter 1? Why would I do that? It was phenomenal. First of all, Fortnite OG, right when it came out, that first 1 month season was amazing. Everyone loved it. It was great vibes being able to go to the old map again, rotating through the seasons like that. It was amazing. I loved it. Everybody else loved it. On top of that, we didn't know that necessarily it was going to be like pretty much an exact copy of the end, and getting to relive that memory, it was like 4 years later, right? Because it was 2019 was when the End Chapter 1 happened, and then the Big Bang happened in 2023. So that's 4 years. And then getting the music and seeing that's a remix of the End Chapter 1 music. I mean, that was amazing. That's by far, by the way, the remix of the End is by far my favorite Fortnite track ever. It's amazing. Phil Busher, the composer, absolutely cooked with it. Also, how we got a sneak peek at all the upcoming Fortnite game modes that were coming in a couple days after that was absolutely crazy. Going through Fortnite Lego was absurd. Fortnite Festival, as well as Fortnite Rocket Racing. That was amazing. It was super cool to see. I loved the event. Getting to relive a live event on the Chapter 1 map was something we might not ever get again. We might in Fortnite OG, We'll see. It seems like we might in the couple seasons when live events start happening again, like in season 6, we might get the floating island and all that stuff, or was that season 5? I'm not sure. One of the two, though, we might get a live events, but it was so cool. You know, the first time back on the Chapter 1 island, get another live event was unbeatable. And finally, I'm going to be honest, what I said at the start of the video is the end Chapter 1 has been my favorite forever. Well, the end has been my favorite forever, but my favorite live event forever, ever since it happened, was the end Chapter 2. This was just like a huge gift to the storyline nerds like me. Back then, when that live event came out, we were blessed with story. Holy cow, that live event was filled with story, and like I said, I at the time, not anymore, I'm not too big of a fan of the story. I made a video, if you want to check that out after this, of the downfall of the Fortnite story, but man, I was prepped for well over a month or two. I was ready for it. You know, the Cube Queen, when that POI showed up, I was like, oh, this live event's gonna be crazy. And leading up to it, I remember watching the teaser trailer for the live event. I was in the car, and someone sent it to me, and I was like, holy cow. If there was a video that I could rewatch again for the first time, if I could go back to that moment and rewatch it again for the first time, it would be that. The end Chapter 2 live event, the trailer for it. If I could watch that again for the first time, that would be, I'd love that. It was such a good event. You know, how the island flip was so cinematic. It was so visually cool. It was awesome how the Cube Queen disappeared. Oh my gosh, you know, how we saw the whole Last Reality fleet with the planet and everything like that, which storyline got ruined, right? So we're never gonna know about that planet, unfortunately, because, you know, Epic doesn't care about the story anymore, let's be honest. But it was just so, it showed so much potential for the future, which, you know, at the time we knew what was gonna happen to the story. It would have been such a bummer, and it is a bummer, but it just showed so much potential for years to come. That one live event prepared the story for years, and unfortunately we're never gonna see that. We're never gonna see that ever, like, just seriously. But you know, it was a great live event nonetheless. At the time, it was phenomenal. I remember reacting to it on stream. It was great vibes, and yeah. So that's it for the video. I want to know what you guys think of my list. Obviously, this is my own opinion and based off of, you know, my personal experience with the events and the leading up to it. You know, it's all based on that. So I'm sure your guys' lists are different, and that's completely okay. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.